Hi guys, and welcome to a new read aloud of Percy Jackson. So last time we had a read aloud. They were on the bus trying to get to their final destination, and three Furies who were the same creature as Mrs. Dodds had been before entered the bus. They attacked them, and they are able to get away at last. All of the passengers go down, but the bus explodes. As of the time being, we don't know where the Furies are. They were still inside of the bus when it exploded, and they start walking in the woods. It is very dark. They don't have infrared vision, so they keep tripping and smashing into things. And the last thing that we read is that Percy finally smelled like very greasy food. So, like the smell that you get whenever you enter Carl's Jr. or a McDonald's or any other diner that you have been. So, we kept walking until I saw a deserted two-lane road through the trees. On the other side was a closed-down gas station, a tattered billboard for a 1990s movie, and one open business, which was the source of the neon light and the good smell. It wasn't a fast food restaurant like I'd hoped for. It was one of those weird roadside curio shops that sells lawn flamingos and wooden Indians and cement grizzly bears and stuff like that. The main building was a long, low warehouse surrounded by acres of statuary. The neon sign above the gate was impossible for me to read, because if there's anything worse for my dyslexia than regular English, it's red, cursive, neon English. To me, it looked like a jumbled mess. What the heck does that say? I asked. I don't know, Annabeth said. She loved reading so much, I'd forgotten she was dyslexic too. Grover translated. Auntie M's Garden Gnome Emporium. You guys know what gnomes are? Those little elf figures that you put on your front garden, front porch. They look like little elves, fat little elves. Flanking the entrance, as advertised, were two cement garden gnomes, ugly, bearded little runts, smiling and waving as if they were about to get their picture taken. I crossed the street, following the smell of hamburgers. Hey, Grover warned. The lights are on inside, Annabeth said. Maybe it's open. Snack bar, I said wistfully. Snack bar, she agreed. Are you too crazy? Grover said. This place is weird. We ignored him. The front lot was a forest of statues, cement animals, cement children, even a cement satyr playing the pipes, which gave Grover the creeps. Blah, he bleated. Looks like my Uncle Ferdinand. We stopped at the warehouse door. Don't knock, Grover pleaded. I smell monsters. Your nose is clogged up from the Furies, Annabeth told him. All I smell is burgers. Aren't you hungry? Meat, he said scornfully. I'm a vegan. You eat cheese enchiladas in aluminum cans, I reminded him. Those are vegetables. Come on, let's leave. These statues are looking at me. Then the door creaked open, and standing in front was a tall Middle Eastern woman. At least I assumed she was Middle Eastern because she wore a long black gown that covered everything but her hands, and her head was completely veiled, so with a veil in front of her face. Her eyes glinted behind a curtain of black gauze, but that was about all I could make out. Her coffee-colored hands looked old, but well manicured and elegant, so I imagined she was a grandmother who once had been a beautiful lady. Her accent sounded vaguely Middle Eastern, too. She said, Children, it's too late to be out here all alone. Where are your parents? We're, Annabeth started to say. We're orphans, I said. Orphans, the woman said. The word sounded alien in her mouth. But, my dears, surely not. We got separated from our caravan, I said. Our circus caravan. The ringmaster told us to meet him at the gas station if we got lost, but he may have forgotten, or maybe he meant a different gas station. Anyway, we're lost. Is that food I smell? Oh, my dears, the woman said. You must come in, poor children. I am Auntie M. Go through to the back of the warehouse, please. There is a dining area. We thanked her and we went inside. Annabeth murmured, Circus caravan? Always have a strategy, right? Your head is full of kelp. The warehouse was filled with more statues, people in all different poses, wearing all different outfits and with different expressions on their faces. I was thinking you'd have to have a pretty huge garden to fit even one of these statues because they were all life size. But mostly I was thinking about food. Go ahead, call me an idiot for walking into a strange lady's shop just like that because I was hungry. But I do impulsive stuff sometimes. Plus, you've never smelled Auntie M's burgers. The aroma was like laughing in the dentist's chair. It made everything else go away. Oh, the aroma was like laughing gas in the dentist's chair. It made everything else go away. So I don't know if you've had like a small procedure done at the dentist when they actually have to like sleep you down a little bit. I got the laughing gas when I got my wisdom teeth removed. They put it like a little gas and it makes you very sleepy, and they call it laughing gas because sometimes it makes you like wobbly and laugh. I barely noticed Grover's nervous whimpers, or the way the statue's eyes seemed to follow me, or the fact that Auntie M had locked the door behind us. All I cared about was finding the dining area, and sure enough, there it was at the back of the warehouse, a fast food counter with a grill, a soda fountain, a pretzel heater, and a nacho cheese dispenser. Everything you could want, plus a few steel picnic tables out front. Please, sit down, Auntie M said. Awesome, I said. Grover said reluctantly. We don't have any money, ma'am. Before I could jab him in the ribs, Auntie M said, No, children, no money. This is a special case, yes? It is my treat for such nice orphans. Thank you, ma'am, Annabeth said. Auntie M stiffened, as if Annabeth had done something wrong, but then the old woman relaxed just as quickly. So I figured it must have been my imagination. Quite all right, Annabeth, she said. You have such beautiful gray eyes, child. Only later did I wonder how she knew Annabeth's name, even though we had never introduced ourselves. Our hostess disappeared behind the snack counter and started cooking. Before we knew it, she'd brought us plastic trays heaped with double cheeseburgers, vanilla shakes, and extra large servings of French fries. I was halfway through my burger before I remembered to breathe. Annabeth slurped her shake. Grover picked at the fries and eyed the trays waxed with lined paper as if he might go for that, but he looked too nervous to eat. What's that hissing noise? He asked. I listened, but I didn't hear anything. Annabeth shook her head. Hissing? Auntie M asked. Perhaps you hear the deep fryer oil? You have keen ears, Grover. I take vitamins for my ears. That's admirable, she said, but please relax. Auntie M ate nothing. She hadn't taken off her headdress even to cook. And now she sat forward and interlaced her fingers and watched us eat. It was a little unsettling having someone stare at me when I couldn't see her face. But if someone stared at me when I couldn't see her But I was feeling satisfied after the burger and a little sleepy, and I figured the least I could do was try to make small talk with our hostess. So, you sell gnomes, I said, trying to sound interested. Oh yes, Auntie M said, and animals, and people, anything for the garden, custom orders. Statuary is very popular, you know. A lot of businesses on this road? Not so much, no. Since the highway was built, most cars, they do not go this way now. I must cherish every single customer I get. My neck tingled, as if somebody else was looking at me. I turned, but it was just a statue of a young girl holding an Easter basket. The detail was incredible. Much better than what you see in most garden statues. But something was wrong with her face. It looked as if she were startled or even terrified. Ah, Auntie Anne said sadly, you notice some of my creations do not turn out well. They are marred. They do not sell. The face is the hardest to get right. Always the face. You make these statues yourself? I asked. Oh, yes. Once upon a time I had two sisters to help me in the business, but they have passed on, and Auntie Em is all alone. I only have my statues. This is why I make them, you see. They are my company. The sadness in her voice sounded so deep and so real, I couldn't help but feeling sorry for her. And I will continue on the next video.